The purpose of this video is to demonstrate the effectiveness of Flame Safe's Fire Poly FP100 on an assembly composed of wood I-joists with a 3/4 inch plywood deck attached. This is a simulation only of the small-scale ASTM E119 fire test for building materials. Hourly ratings are assigned only to complete assemblies of structural materials for buildings, including walls, floors, doors, ceilings, roof, etc. It's important to know that hourly ratings have no reference whatsoever to real-time hours in an actual fire, and they are not assigned to any one single component, but only to a complete assembly. This time, I'm going to place the Bunsen burner directly underneath the flange of the I-joist portion of the assembly, similar to what would be done under the ASTM E19 test. The ASTM E19 test has numerous burners on a complete floor assembly, usually 7 feet by 10 feet, or 10 feet by 10 feet, or in some instances 13 to 14 feet by 16 feet. The International Residential Code for 1- and 2-family dwellings has an exception under Rule 501.3, fire protection of floors. The exception is number 4. Number 4 states, wood floor assemblies using dimension lumber of structural composite lumber equal to or greater than 2 inch by 10 inch, nominal dimension, or other approved floor assemblies, demonstrating equivalence fire performance. The fire performance of a 2 by 10 untreated usually will only last 6 to 8 minutes maximum within typical fire conditions as set forth in the ASTM E119 test. We are going to conduct this test for substantially longer than the 8-minute maximum requirement. Wood I-joists for floors, in particular, are a firefighter's nightmare. Prefabricated wood I-joists are used in approximately 50% of new wood frame construction. When compared to sawn lumber, wood I-joists are stronger, stiffer, and lighter in weight. They are typically the preferred design of choice for large rooms because they are able to span greater distance than standard 2-inch lumber, such as 2x12s. They also allow for much straighter floor assemblies. They are also environmentally friendly by making the optimum use of renewable forest resources and are manufactured to exactly industry quality standards. This test should not be confused with the ASTM E84 test or the UL 723 or the NFPA 255, sometimes referred to as the Steiner tunnel test. At this point, I'm going to zoom in to the underside of the burner so that you may see the high intumescent nature of Fire Poly FP100. At this point, I'm going to put a timer on so that you can actually see the effectiveness. The intumescence has expanded almost to the top of the burner, which was set 2 inches below the substrate of the flange. This Bunsen burner test is set at 1400 to 1500 degrees. The ASTM E119 test conducted, whether it was in the small scale one of the 7x7 panels or the 7x10 or the 13-foot by 16-foot large scale test, starts off with a temperature of 1400 degrees and sometimes approaches as much as 1800 degrees. With the Bunsen burner test, we are showing the flame with extreme contact to the underside of the flange of the I-joist. At this point, I'm going to lower the burner because the expansion of the intumescence has expanded down to the top of the burner to such an extent that it would put out the burner. In addition, I'm going to turn up and increase the gas flow and the flame. At the top end of the I-joist, mounted to the flange, is a thermometer. When we complete the test, we will zoom in on the thermometer and actually see the temperature of the increase, if any, for a reading at the upper end of the I-joist. As you can see from this video, the intumescence has expanded to almost 2 inches. Intumescence is an important factor in any fire retardants because it insulates the substrate from the source of ignition. At this point, the intumescence has expanded approximately 2.5 inches. The timer was not started until the test was already conducted for 4 minutes, which is the standard under the ASTM D3806. I'm now going to lower the burner and give more gas pressure to the burner. Test conducted at Intertech based on the ASTM E84 and the ASTM D2768, which is the extended test for 30 minutes, indicated a flame spread of 0 on I-joists that were covered with Fire Poly FP100. The smoke density was less than 80. As you can see from this video, there is almost 0 smoke. At this point, I'm going to turn most of the lights out so you can actually see the flame as it surrounds the intumescents. As you can see, the temperature gauge is at 110 degrees. At the upper end of the web of the I-joist. Smoke index reading at this time, as we approach 25 minutes into the test, including the time before I started the clock, is less than 10. The smoke index required under the ASTM E84 is 450. As you can see, this is many, many, many times less. Flame Safe manufactures the most effective fire retardants available. Flame Safe has been in business for 4 decades. it's important to note that the intumescent has protected the upper part of the flange, that is the lower flange, and also the lower part of the web. The intumescence is so enhanced, it is actually diverting the flame away from the specimen. This time I'm going to increase the flame pressure, that is the gas pressure to the flame, to 1600 degrees. Similar to what is conducted under the ASTM E119 test procedure. This test has been conducted so far for over 30 minutes, including the time prior to us putting on the timer. Temperature of the upper end of the flange has not quite reached 150 degrees. It would take in excess of 450 degrees minimum to have flashover. It's very important to firefighters or for people trying to escape a burning home. I'm now going to increase the gas pressure in order to increase the temperature of the Bunsen burner to 1700 degrees. Flame Safe will not sell any product or make a claim of any of its product unless it has been tested by an independent, accredited, third-party laboratory, such as Underwriters Laboratories, Southwest Research Institute, Intertech Testing, the Institute for Fire Safety in Europe, Diversified Laboratory Testing, United States Testing, and many more.